Colin.
Nice.
Was it? British finals last year. Where did you come?
Second.
Second.
Oh yeah.
Where are you going to come this year?
Only one spot left, isn't there?
What's up, Desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today I'm doing my preview of the 2020 British Grand Prix, which is to be held in only about 8 hours time from now. So we need to get straight into this. And the reason why this is up a little bit late is because the contest was actually brought forward from Saturday, I think it was, right up until Wednesday because of the whole lockdown which is going on in England right now. So let's get straight into this. I'm going to do my preview and prediction. So here's the competitors list for the Open Men's Bodybuilding. I'm going to be doing the 212 slightly. I'll touch on the winner who I think will win that, and also the winner of the Classic Physique as well. So let's get into the Open Pro Men's Bodybuilding. And in sixth place, I have Jamie Johal. Now this dude is 6'5". In his first pro show, he placed top 10, which is only a few weeks ago now, that Europa Pro in Alicante, Spain, and really did impress. I mean, he's not at the level where he's going to be placing top 5 at those types of shows, but potentially he could push for a top 5 in this show, absolutely, because his frame is so imposing. Now, over the years, he's going to still have to add more muscle to be really competitive, but really impressive pro debut. He's got a great shape and a great structure. So for a guy who's 6'5", very, very impressive. So Jamie Johal I have in 6th place here. In 5th, I have Florian Poison. Now, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's coached by Patrick Tour. Now, one thing I will say about Florian is amazing shape. Like, his quads are super round, which I love. He's got those round muscle bellies on the upper body as well. Very, very impressive. Now, where does Florian fall down? Now, it looks like his conditioning may be a slight issue here. Now, I was very impressed with him last year. I think his pro debut, he came out and got like a 3rd, 4th, or 5th place. It was somewhere around there in a competitive lineup as well. And I thought, geez, this guy is going to mean business in 2020. Now, I'm not as impressed as I thought I might be. Now, his muscle size may have gone up a bit, but his back does need to improve, absolutely. So if he can bring his back up, if he can get tighter with his conditioning. Now, some guys don't peak right until the end. Once the drying out process is done, they're becoming much harder. Now, I don't know if he'll be hard enough with guys like James Hollingshead in the lineup, but I love this dude's shape. So I think on shape and muscle size alone, he'll place well in that top 5, but I don't know if it'll be enough to beat out guys like Marc Hector and Samson Dauda and all that as well. So in 4th place, I have Marc Hector. Now, Marc Hector impressed me so much about Europa show, and he really shows how much potential this dude really, really has. Now, this photo here was just 24 hours out, and you can see he looks absolutely phenomenal, but he looks like he needs a little bit more to potentially win a show like this. I don't know if he's quite got that level yet, but man, this dude impressed me so much with this. I think it was a 7th place or a 6th place in his pro debut at that Europa Pro show. So Marc Hector I have in 4th here. In 3rd place, I have Regan Grimes. Now, Regan was sort of a late entry into this show and can, potentially win the show, but I don't know if he has the mature muscle yet that he needs to beat a guy like James Hollingshead in this lineup, because really James is the #1 guy coming into this lineup based on him winning that Europa show. Now, in that same show, Regan was 4th, but the whole top 5 to top 6 to top 7 was really, really close in that show. So you can say, James placed 3 spots ahead of him and won the show, and he was 4th, which is absolutely true, but maybe you could say that they were a little bit closer than a typical 1st and 4th place finish. So Regan Grimes in 3rd here. In 2nd, I have Samson Dauda. Now, I've seen these photos go up of Samson, and he looks insane. Like, he looks really full. He's put on 6 pounds since the Europa, which in a way I think was needed, because Samson's been dieting since last year. Literally. He was going to try to do the Arnold Classic if he got the invite, or the Arnold Classic Australia. Didn't happen, the invite's there, and then he was going to head to the Brazil Arnold Classic, I think it was, and that got cancelled, and then obviously had a string of shows get cancelled. He got stuck over in Korea for over a month. He's had a rough year, but a learning year, really, and he's I think he's going to grow from this, and any prep he does in the future is definitely going to be easy. But let's get on to how he's looking now, because he's coming in fuller. Now, I've talked to Samson just literally minutes ago, and he said he's replicating what he did for the British last year, and we know that got him a 2nd place to Nathan Nathan Diasha, who's I think a top 7 Mr. Olympia competitor. So that is nothing to sneeze at. It beat James Hollingshead last year. Now, James has improved greatly. Samson has also improved as well. So I think this is going to be a similar look to last year at the British, but a little bit bigger. So I'm very excited to see that. I know Samson's in the 270s right now, which is very impressive. And he does look hard as well. As long as he doesn't hold that water and he comes in sharp enough with his fullness, he's going to jump some people, I think. And Regan Grimes would be one of those guys, because Samson was 5th in that Europa show, just 1 spot behind Regan. So if he can get a little bit better and Regan doesn't improve as much as he maybe needs to, I think Samson will beat him. But that's going to be a great battle between Samson, Regan, Marc Hector. I think that's going to be awesome. And also, in first place, I have James Hollingshead. It's hard to put him anywhere else in this lineup because he brings the conditioning. Now, I didn't think he was at his very best at the Europa, but he was still good enough to win. So that tells me something. So if he was not at his best and still good enough to win, that's going to be tough to beat if he brings a better package. Now, will he bring a better package? Now, we've seen these photos here. They're just from days out of the contest, and he looks pretty damn hard. So, you know, he can go off the photos, but I'm going more off what he brought to Europa because he looked very impressive ahead of that Europa show. So I'm putting James Hollingshead in first. So I'll recap it. Samson Dauda in second, Reagan Grimes in third, Marc Hector fourth, Florian Poison, not sure, that one's a tough name, and then Jamie Joe Hull in 6th. So that's my top 6 for the open men's bodybuilding. Now in the 212s, Angel Calderon, he was sort of a late entrant to this one, I believe, as well. Such an impressive bodybuilder. I just cannot see this guy. He's a top 10 212 Olympian. Cannot see him getting beaten here. If there's someone else in the lineup that you guys think that I'm missing, let me know in the comments below. There's a bunch of good competitors, like your Steve Benthams and whatnot as well, but I don't think there's anyone good enough to beat Angel here. And in the Classic Physique, Mike Sommerfeld. Now this guy, Mick and I talked about him on the most recent weekly bodybuilding breakdown, and just the shape of this dude is just on another level. If he can bring that razor sharp conditioning to the Olympia, top 10 Olympia for sure, in my opinion. But guys, let me know your picks for the 2020 British Grand Prix, which is to be held not far from now. I hope you guys enjoyed this preview, and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell button, because I'm going to have wrap-ups and heaps of coverage around this show. Hopefully get some post-show interviews with maybe the winners, the 2nd and 3rd place finishers. That'd be absolutely awesome. So if you guys see this as well, make sure you keep an eye out for my messages, because I'll probably hit you up on Instagram and slide into your DMs. But guys, if you enjoyed this preview and this type of contest coverage, head to hostile.com, HOSSTILE.com. Enter ZAVE10, it's XAV10. You'll save yourself 10% off some of the best supplements in the world, in my opinion. I think the best, to be honest with you guys. And I've got the apparel on here as well. The white Hostile tee, very, very comfortable, lightweight t-shirt. Make sure you check out all the apparel and the caps and everything on there as well. So that's it for me. Xavier Wills from Desktop Bodybuilding. We are out.